It all began when I received a notice from the Homeowners Association accusing me of living outside the bounds of their jurisdiction. I laughed at the absurdity, but the letter came with a threat of fines and legal action. 3 minutes later, after a quick review of the law, I sent a formal response citing my rights and the limitations of HOA authority. The association had no legal grounds, and my letter effectively shut them down. Things escalated quickly. A group of phony HOA officers, emboldened by the illusion of authority, attempted to enforce their demands. During one confrontation with my grandfather, they overstepped, resulting in an injury. My extended family, some of whom had military and biker backgrounds, responded with fierce protection. The incident quickly became a lesson in respecting boundaries, ours. The HOA's reach didn't stop there. One weekend, several of their members threw a gathering on my vessel without my consent. Calmly, I allowed the tide to carry the party away, and the message was unmistakable. My property, my rules. Another time, the HOA demanded access to our home's network because their child was curious. When my tech-savvy child changed the network code, the HOA was left speechless, realizing their attempts at control had failed. I soon learned that their obsession extended to appearances and authority. When one of them demanded credentials during a dispute, my spouse, trained in tactical operations, calmly presented them in a way that left the accuser flustered and silent. Even their repeated attempts to sneak into our property were met with calculated, legal responses, including removing access points like the pond reservoir that had become a target of intrusion. The HOA's persistence knew no bounds. They tried to commandeer our pond lodge for a child's gathering, only to be met by law enforcement arriving just in time to prevent unauthorized use. Their sisters crushed our mailbox repeatedly, which led me to install a sturdier, unexpected replacement. Every act of overreach was countered with measured, lawful action that showcased both preparation and patience. Matters turned more personal when they attempted to demand custody of our newborn, unaware of my spouse's elite military background. Any intrusion was met with controlled authority. Surveillance caught some members attempting to forge judicial papers, leading to detainment by the court. Others discarded a veteran's mail, underestimating the legal repercussions that followed immediately. The HOA's obsession with master keys became almost comedic. When they tried to enter our residence, my children or spouse, trained in security and law enforcement, thwarted their attempts in ways that left them frozen and humiliated. One even tried to access our vehicle with no success, prompting another unnecessary call to emergency services, which was carefully managed on my end. Property damage was another recurring theme. They took chainsaws to barriers, demolished bridges, and even parked multiple vehicles in our shed. Each time, I responded with lawful measures that reclaimed the property or converted it to my advantage, sometimes permanently. Their attempts at intimidation, whether through emergency calls or confrontational visits, were systematically nullified by legal knowledge, preparation, and occasional displays of tactical prowess by family members. Eventually, their actions reached a point where they tried to overstep into my family's life, attempting to drag children from gatherings or penalize me for angling on my own pond. Every act was met with swift, lawful retaliation, often involving direct contact with authorities, legal maneuvers, or leveraging family ties to local leadership, leaving them powerless. By the time the dust settled, the HOA had tried everything, from unauthorized inspections to property seizures, from forging documents to wielding imagined authority. Each move they made was met with a calculated, lawful response that maintained safety, protected property rights, and, when necessary, demonstrated controlled force without crossing legal boundaries. In the end, the HOA's repeated overreach collapsed under its own weight, leaving their members shocked, humbled, and, in some cases, legally accountable. What remained was a stark lesson in boundaries, the importance of preparation, and the power of lawful defense. I had protected my family, my property, and my rights while demonstrating that no amount of intimidation or privilege could replace knowledge, planning, and courage. The HOA, once looming large in their imagined authority, became little more than a cautionary tale about what happens when entitlement meets someone unwilling to bend.